welcome to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be doing a fragrance review of Purple Oud by Dior, so stay tuned for that. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, I really do appreciate it. Before we get into the video, guys, leave a comment down below. What's your scent of the day? Mine is Purple Oud by Dior. Now this was released in 2018 and I gotta say I totally missed it. Totally slept on this one, but I was happy enough or fortunate enough to be sent this one by a follower of mine, and I'm doing a full review on it because I actually do like this one quite a bit. Interestingly enough, I talked to him a little bit. This is not one that he particularly liked, but I do, so I'm going to talk about it in this video. This is a very simple composition. It is oud, saffron, pink pepper, and orange. Now with this one in the opening I will say is by far the best part of this fragrance, the most interesting part of this fragrance. That orange is there, it's very nice, it has an almost greenish touch to it, and it definitely adds a nice citrusy top to it. Now, the pink pepper also in the opening is quite strong, so this one is fairly spicy in the opening, and in the background there is a somewhat smoky oud. Now, the oud is not particularly skanky or animalic as some other fragrances are, especially if you're familiar with leather oud, also by Dior. This one certainly doesn't compare in that respect. It is, however, I guess, just skanky enough that you do know that this is oud. So a lot of fragrances do have an oud note in them, like oud wood or oud for greatness, and they smell generally woody, and the wood might smell a little bit different, but it is more of a general woodiness and I guess a cleaner oud smell. This does have a little bit of a pungentness to it. It does have just a little bit of that oudiness that makes it really stand out and really makes it a little bit more pronounced. So you can definitely tell that the wood in this is oud. Now on my skin, that orange doesn't last very long. It is a little unfortunate. I do like that orange vibe. It tones down in about within 20 minutes and the pink pepper becomes a lot more dominant, very spicy, and then the oud also becomes louder. Now, I do still get a bit of a freshness, and I think that's coming from the orange. It has just an overall or undertone of freshness, and that lasts actually for quite some time until about the dry down, when it's an hour or so into this fragrance. Now, in the dry down, this one does definitely become much more of a subtle, smoky, oudy smell. I don't get as much of the spices, and the orange is definitely gone later in this fragrance. And so it is a fairly straightforward dry down. Deeper into the dry down, that smokiness definitely disappears and you get a sort of clean woodiness. Now this is the kind of oud that I definitely smell in other fragrances that are easy to wear ouds. It's definitely wood. It doesn't smell like cedar, it doesn't smell like fir. It definitely has this woodiness, but it doesn't smell in any way pungent or something that people typically describe of oud at least being capable of being. The performance with this one is pretty good overall. I get about 2 hours projection. It's not super loud on my skin. Getting a nice scent cloud in this one. And I will say that it does have decent longevity. I get over the 7-hour mark, so I get between 7 and 8 hours, which is not particularly bad. But all in all, the longevity is not bad. And I will say that this is one that definitely in the first few hours, very unique smell. As far as, I guess, a lot of the more designer fragrances are concerned, this is really well composed. Now I know this is the private blend and a lot of people consider that niche, and I tend to think of these as niche fragrances as well, but it is still something that comes from a designer brand. And so I guess it doesn't have, oftentimes, it still doesn't have this really crazy uniqueness or the artistic factor a lot of times. This one I feel is very well composed and it is very well executed, and I also think that it's a very easy to wear oud. I think if you're looking for something that smells definitely like it has oud in it, but it's easy to wear, it's not skanky, it's not dirty, definitely not fecal, this is one you should definitely consider getting your nose on. It does smell nice, and the dry down is also very pleasant as well. Personally for me, as I mentioned earlier, I very, very much prefer that first 2 hours of the fragrance. That's where I feel like it has the most depth and the most creativity, but it does smell pleasant the entire way through. Now, I think this is a fairly classy fragrance. It is a spicy woody, so I think it does better in fall and winter. You can definitely dress this one up. I also feel like this is something I could wear, with a t-shirt on. For some reason, it doesn't come off to me as necessarily formal, but it does definitely have a gentlemanly vibe to it, and it is definitely very well executed. Definitely one I like. I might at some point add this to the collection. I certainly do want to get a few from the private blend for Dior, and this is one that I'm definitely considering. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, see you guys in the next video.